and welcome to Make Kind Loud, conversations that turn up the volume. Today, I am super excited to have Becca with us. Hello, Becca.
Hi, Lisa. Thank you for having me on. This is awesome.
Oh, you're welcome. And do you say your last name Niederkrom?
You got it.
Oh, yay. Perfect. So I'm just going to read your bio to introduce you to the people, and then we're going to just chat for about 20 minutes or so.
Perfect.
All right. So here we go. Sorry. Hold on.
We're holding. Hey, I'm sitting outside. It is a gorgeous day. Gorgeous day.
It is nice, isn't it?
It's cold. Cold in air quotes.
Right. Okay. Becca Niederkrom is a born marketer who works with local businesses to help tell their stories online through her site, We Are Dallas Fort Worth. Through this site, she also hosts her local podcast, blog, and even her fun-loving dog mom group. She believes that word of mouth can be taken to the world of mouth when you share your story online to make an emotional connection with your ideal customer. After spending nearly a decade working in sales and marketing for multi-million-dollar brands and startups, she knows what truly drives conversions, traffic, and making an impact. And it's not about, excuse me, and it's not about the sprint, but rather the marathon. Becca has worked with the Ray-Ban sales force on storytelling, the engineering department of Hasbro and bringing emotional connection to their stories, as well as Match.com, Tory Burch, and many local DFW businesses wanting to make an impact. When she's not hiking one of our parks or mountain biking on the dirt trails, perhaps you'll find her on Good Morning Texas, in the Dallas Morning News, Fox News, Business Insider, or just dropping value bombs on LinkedIn. She strives to help you get you where you want to be. I love it, Becca. Welcome.
Yeah. I'm a mouthful there. Thank you so much. And I have to say, I've got my dogs here with me because I am a dog mom.
I love it. I love it. So tell us about yourself. Tell us what you do, why you started, what you're doing. I want to know everything.
You know, it's interesting when you mentioned conversations about what you do. So interesting. One of my very first websites was called Conversation Counts. And
I love that.
Years and years ago. And this was really the precipice of social media. And I said, this isn't about anything more than conversations.
Right.
That's it. And even my Twitter handle, I'm on occasionally on Twitter, very occasionally, but it still reflects that website, and that handle reflects it. And I'm like, that's all. Like, I was right. That was it. It's just about conversations, just like we're having now. It's just a place to leverage conversations and share with anyone that we want to get the message to. And that's a really awesome thing. And that's how I got started.
And I love that, because conversations are so important and so powerful if you are willing to have those conversations and to be open to listening to different points of views.
You bet. There's a lot of points of view and a lot of conversations. And that's what's really cool, is that you can create your own conversations and you can jump in on others' conversations in social listening. That's one thing that I really promote is, hey, you don't have to worry about what needs to be said. People are already saying it. I guarantee you someone's saying it on one of the platforms.
Right.
And you can go and listen, and you could jump in and add your 2 cents, give a thumbs up, a heart, whatever it is, and make your presence be known in that conversation.
I love that. So tell us about, I'm sorry, what's the name of your website again?
So that is an old website. It has come and it has gone. Many projects, I don't call them failures, just, little stepping stones along the way that led me to the next thing. But I've settled in on We Are Dallas Fort Worth. I've gotten rid of pretty much all the other websites. They're kind of hiding out in hosting land, but We Are Dallas Fort Worth. So I focus a lot on the DFW area.
So We Are Dallas Fort Worth. So just tell us who you highlight, what's it for, and how you're going with it.
Okay, Louisa, this is like a really weird thing to say, but I've actually been a little bit more open with people. The reason I started the website was because I couldn't stand Dallas.
Okay.
I had always lived somewhere on the beaches and found myself here. I had spent time in Plano before when I was younger. Ended up buying my parents' house, which is what I'm in right now. This is the patio that I'm on since it's so nice outside. And found myself just not liking it. I didn't get to go to the beach, swimming, tide pooling, all of those things. And I said, wait a second. Okay, I don't have the beach. I don't have the waves, but Dallas is growing and it's there. All the things that I love, the outdoors, finding those local gems, finding those independent businesses, they're all here. I need to, what do they say? Bloom where you're planted. I need to bloom where I'm planted, and I need to change my thoughts. I need to change my perspective, because living by the beaches means it costs a lot of moolah, and living in Plano, where I live now, I'm able to not have to live off of ramen noodle soup. So there's a silver lining to living here, and I need to focus on that, because I don't ever want to eat ramen noodle soup again. I'm going to stay here. I'm going to figure out how to love it. And so I just started writing, still write about our journeys. It's me and my husband, Brian, and he's highlighted. He's still waiting for his modeling paychecks to come through from any of the Instagram pictures I take, or his Instagram husband work. He's still waiting for his paycheck.
That's hilarious.
It's an internship, honey. And then our 2 dogs.
An unpaid internship.
It's a long-term unpaid internship. We do your photographic skills and photography skills. Excuse me. So I take our dogs out and we go and we find the things that we love. And I started writing about them, taking pictures and just getting better at that. And then including companies that are authentic to me. Not every company. I know there's some great messages out there, but there's got to be a way that I can authentically talk about a company.
Right.
So whether it's a restaurant, a service business, someone who's come to fix our garage door when it broke, there's got to be some sort of authenticity in it for me to be able to speak to it. So as long as it checks off those boxes, then I include those companies, because that's part of living here, is taking care of our home, taking care of the dogs, finding adventure, but taking care of the stuff that's not so fun as well in life. And those end up on the website as well.
So that's awesome. I love that. And I love that you said bloom where you're planted. And so you just, we don't have beaches here, obviously, but you have found a way to make it your own, and a way to make it fun for you and your family, even though you would rather be by the beaches, but you don't want to eat ramen noodle soup.
Exactly. Yeah, pretty much that is it. And, and when I think about it, even when I was thinking about waves and beaches, I'm like, well, down the street, I don't live far. I'm at the sort of intersection of Plano, Murphy, Garland, Richardson. They all sort of come in this northeast corner of Plano. I'm like, there is a wave pool in Garland. There's some waves. There's a windsurfing group out at Lake Ray Hubbard. There's a lake about 10 minutes away, Lake Lavon. Sneaky Pete's over Lake Louisville. I could go jump in the pool and overlook the lake and pretend I'm at the beach. So there's just a lot of it's all here. It's showing up in a different way. I'm going to go find it, and I'm going to go find things that fit us. Now, I don't speak to the masses. I am not a influencer. I'm not trying to be fashionable at all. I'm in my 80s shirt right now. So I speak my own language, and if people want to follow along and see some of these gems, if they're just moving here, cool. Love it.
I love that. And before I saw a beach, I thought Lake Ray Hubbard was the biggest body of water ever.
Well, it is a big body of water.
It is a huge lake. Okay. So if you need to feel ocean-like, then that's a place to go.
Cool spot. Rockwall Harbor is a cool place to hang out. Oh, hey, Tanya.
Hey, Tanya.
Well, that's where the windsurfing club, and that's also where, so I'm a stand-up paddleboarder. So there is something called a paddling trail. And when I first saw it, I said, what the heck is a like, I know what a trail is. What do you mean paddling trail? Well, what they mean is there's no wake. There's no boats that can come flying by and knock you off. It's kayakers, paddleboarders, people who fish, all hanging out in this really cool area. There's a fort built into the trees if you go far enough. And what a cool spot that we have. You can't find this in California or Florida. It's
awesome. So
and it's totally free.
Oh, see, I was just about to ask you, because in the summertime I have 24 nieces and nephews, but 3 of them I know there's a lot, but 3 of them I get once a week, and they're boys. They're 14 and 11 now, and we've been doing this for a while. And that sounds amazing, like somewhere I could take them so that they can go hang out and see some amazing stuff. So I'll have to get that information from you.
Cool. Yeah, it's an awesome spot. Totally free. You do need to have the vehicle. Or, I mean, when I come up on the shoreline, people will say, hey, I've never tried a paddleboard before. Can I jump on? Go for it. Have at it. I don't use it enough. I'd love for someone to take it out and give it a spin while I'm right there.
Yeah, that's awesome. That is so awesome. And I love, just the fact that you're driving around or just trying to figure out cool spots for you, so that you can bloom and blossom and be excited about life, but then to also share that with other people so that they can go out there and find that information as well, because I wouldn't have never found that if you hadn't just told me about it. And so, just sharing your knowledge is amazing.
Thank you. Yeah, that's what's really important to my husband and I, is that we find pleasure in the simple things.
Yeah.
They don't need to cost anything. We are huge picnic people. I'm talking about breakfast picnics, dinner picnics. I'm a child of the 80s. So I love just the simplicity, remembering how I grew up without cell phones, not needing to be at the best little restaurant. Of course, I do appreciate good food, but just having fun at a park and a picnic is how I grew up. We used to do that every weekend. And I find myself just coming back to that's simple, it's easy, and it's just as enjoyable as any restaurant out there.
I love it. So tell me, one of your things is that you like to share your light with others, and you like to bring out the light in others as well. So how do you do that? How do you bring out the light in others?
Well, I'll tell you, it's not always easy. I've got the East Coast blood running through me. So it's something that I work on myself first. I feel like right now I'm deep in the trenches of really working on my mental, my thoughts.
Yeah.
And making sure that I'm in a place of gratitude. I'm in a place of knowing what love is and what fear is. And it's something that I feel like I'm this part-time. I'm a part-time happy person, part-time positive person.
Okay.
And because I know it's out there, I know I need to work at it, like I do a gym, working out my muscles. So I'm constantly working on myself first. And in order to do that, I've realized I've got to start my day right. I've got to start my day in gratitude journaling. I've got to meditate. I've got to be still and be calm. And so that's basically how I'm trying to show up in the world. And I'm really trying to go from part-time to full-time on that.
I love that.
Sometimes the world gets the best of me, and it's just a moment to reflect and say, hey, my reaction is everything. Coming back to gratitude, coming back to meditation, nature. That's why I love nature so much. It's to me a very healing place when I can get heated so quickly and I need to cool it down. So it's really me just showing up first as my best self, and that is a huge work in progress. It just is what it is.
Every day, right?
Every day, all day. But the gratitude journaling, I had stopped doing that, and I can look back now and see how my life could how I could react so easily to all the little things that might upset me. And so now I'm back in it full time again, and I'm realizing, why didn't I stick with this? Why am I such a part-timer? I need to be a full-time positivity vibe, gratitude, meditation person. So I constantly get smacked by the universe and say, okay, let me get back to this. And my way of looking at every situation, sometimes I'm in these competitive situations where, people are trying to knock me down, or just being online, there's some haterade out there.
For real.
It's really of, how do I react? Let me put myself in this person's shoes, and I am going to respond, but it's up to me to how I choose. And sometimes it's just, they just need a hug, man. They just need to put a smile on their face. And so it's remembering that, if it's Marianne Williamson said, I'm rereading the Return to Love, which is based on A Course in Miracles. And if it's not love, then it's fear. It's an illusion. It's not real. And so it's just, holy crap, I'm going through life. I'm going, to Starbucks. There's traffic. There's all this real stuff happening in Dallas, and it's chaotic sometimes. And remembering that a lot of it's just an illusion. So if it's not love, it's not real. And easy to say right now, harder to remember in the moment of chaos. And so that's what I'm working on, is trying to show up and love myself, and then show love to other people and listening.
I love that. And I'm right there with you, because I've been on my, I'm on a kindness journey, I call it. And I've been on it for about 7, 8 years. And at the very beginning, it was so difficult because my default was sarcasm. And exactly. Mm-hmm. And so, but you had that choice, like you just talked about. And so every morning I get up and, do this Facebook Live morning motivation about life is going to throw stuff at you, but you have a choice of how you react and how you respond. And if we all just remember that we're all human and we all have moments, that it's okay. It's okay to have a moment, but then how do you bounce back and do better in that very next moment?
Yeah, it's the reaction. It's really interesting because I'm very empathic as well. And so I'm trying to explain this to my husband, how I'm in certain situations and I can feel it all. And I have to, it's like that fight or flight, and I have to run. I'm an introvert. And so I'm like, whoa, I'm overdone. I need to go.
Too much. There's too much happening right now.
There's too much. I need to go hide in my closet and digest everything. So I pick up everything. I was at the Starbucks down in Highland Park earlier this week, and I overheard just a nasty comment from a woman talking about another woman who was emailing her. Oh. And immediately I'm like, oh, I should tell her. That's my ego. Like, I need to put her in her place. Like, that's ridiculous. That's what's keeping women down. I'm going to tell her I know it all, and my know-it-all personality. And I'm like, you know what? She needs a hug. I need a hug. She needs a hug. And so it's trying to let it go. And one thing I do in my meditation is I imagine these hearts. Oh, I could do my heart. I finally have a reason to do a heart. I do a heart and I send it out to neighbors, to my dog mom group,
I love that.
To people, to myself, and I'm trying to constantly, restrain my reactions and not. Yeah. I'm sarcastic. I'm really spicy. I think I'm sarcastic in a good way, but not everyone in the South perceives it that way. Right. If I'm going to put my best foot forward, I've got to reel in some of that sometimes and just keep it for people who really get it and don't take it too personally. So, yeah.
Yeah. I love that. Sarcastic in a good way. I used to think that too. And I was just like, that's not funny to you because that's hilarious.
I find humor in everything. Go to find out. Not everyone.
Not everyone thinks it's funny.
Not everyone thinks it's funny, or I could play every which side, and not everyone finds that enjoyable. Now, I know I have some close friends that do, and so I'm like, all right, you save it for them so you can riff. But you don't need to. You need to be careful, Becca. Reel it in. Be still.
Yeah. I tell myself that too. And even 8 years in, there are some moments where I'm like, oh no, you can't say that. You want to, but you can't.
Yeah. Just what did Nelson Mandela is someone who taught the principle of listening, letting the others just speak and just listening. And as someone who has my hand in everything. I feel like I know something about everything and I should share my opinion. And it's definitely a huge negative. I'm sure all my friends could say that about me. So it's really like, hey, Becca, shut up. Zip it.
I think we're kindred spirits.
We are.
Yeah, I think so.
So where are you from? Are you from Texas?
I am. I'm from Dallas.
Oh, you're a big deal. Okay.
Yep. Grew up in Mesquite and then went to school in Denver and lived on the East Coast for about two and a half years and then came back to Dallas. So, yeah.
Do you think the East Coast is where you got your sarcasm from?
No, my family. That's just how we roll. It was fun. What's the word? It was more acceptable on the East Coast because everyone was like that. But yeah, my family can be a little spicy as well. But yeah.
Mine too. My husband's Texan. He's San Antonio.
Okay.
Like, sometimes he's like, are you angry? And I'm like, no. This is just how on certain coasts, this is how they talk. They're very passionate. They get it out. I don't hold anything back. So I'm not going to talk about you. I'm not going to hold a grudge. I'm going to just say it. And he's like, oh my gosh, you're like a hurricane. I'm like, okay, sorry.
Sorry, honey.
Sorry. I'll try again. I'll try to do better. So.
And that's what it's all about. Just doing better and just, recognizing that and realizing that that's not for everyone. And just saying, you know what, I have a choice of how I want to react and how I want to respond in this situation. And I love that you do that. And I love that you're out there just sharing amazing things with the people of Dallas-Fort Worth. Because like I said, I never would have known about that paddleboard thing if you hadn't told me about it. And so I love that you're going out there and finding it and then sharing it with other people so that we can all enjoy it as well.
Oh, thank you. Well, reach out anytime. If you've got one of your nieces or nephews, I will happily answer any questions. Just ping me and say, Becca, where do I go today? And
perfect. You might be tired of me because we've been doing this. It's called Tuesdays with the Boys, and we've been doing this for about, the older ones are 14. I think they were like 8 when we started, and so now I'm running out of ideas. I'm like, okay, what can I do now? Well, I have 14-year-olds now. So I will be reaching out.
No problem. I will happily answer.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much. This has been such a lovely conversation. I really appreciate you saying yes and joining in.
Thank you so much for having me. And I say, let's make kindness louder. I'm going to try my best.
Yes. And I think I'm going to see you in a couple weeks because you're speaking at Brooklyn.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, I am. I'm excited. I cannot wait to meet you in person.
I know.
In real life.
I'm a hugger too, so big hugs coming soon.
Okay, I'm a big bear hug girl, so watch out.
All right, we'll do a running start.
Okay, sounds like a great plan. I love it.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much again. I really appreciate you taking the time. This has been Make Kind Loud, conversations that turn up the volume. Please go check out We Are Dallas-Fort Worth. Becca is putting out all kinds of information about gyms, restaurants, activities. If you need something to do over the summer, go check her out and she has that information for you. So thanks again, Becca. I really appreciate it.
All right. Thanks. Bye, everyone.
Bye. And we'll see you guys next week for another episode of Make Kind Loud, conversations that turn up the volume. Bye.